Hi, I'm Emma Lou, the Creative Director with Heartfelt Creations. Today I'm bringing you some techniques that show you how to create your own epoxy circle embellishments. They work great on your layouts, your cards, your tags. We're also going to show you how to add some dimension to like hot air balloons and circle compasses. You might already have some stamps in your collection that you'll be able to feature this technique on. So join me and we'll have some fun together, learn some new techniques, and you'll have some new inspiration for your design room. I love the options with the basic circle shapes. On the hot air balloon, I created this dimension. It can flatten out, so you can mail it. Then you can just pop it back up. So this creates a nice interaction for your kids, or it also makes great masculine cards as well. So to create a balloon like this, or you see this circular map, we also have a pocket watch that you could do this on. All the techniques that I'm showing for this balloon, you can use on that as well. So what I did first is I stamped the hot air balloon image with the blue ink, and then I cut it out. I did scissor cut this one out. I didn't have a die for that, so you do scissor cut that. Then you'll use your Score Buddy or Score Pal, and I'll do it on the front so I can kind of see where my center is. For the balloon, the center is right up in here and then right in the middle. If you're more comfortable to just fold it, you can do that too. So we'll just kind of make a score line down the center, and we'll do that on 2 balloons. Now, if you're wanting to glue your balloon to a card, I like to use 5 cutout balloons. If you're wanting to make a full circle hot air balloon that's standalone, you'll probably use 8 or 9. The more you use, the fuller it's going to be. So you'll see that I partially started this already, but once you've scored it, you'll have your stamp side in the center, and you will just fold this together. So just make sure that the edge is correct up there, and then just pull that back and make sure that it's folded in half. So you'll do that, and then I'll grab the other one, just fold these in half, and then you'll take your glue. I usually use my Dries Clear glue and glue the half of one. So you just put some glue around the outer edges, and I'll glue that to the back of the last half. And just make sure that the outer lines are lining up. Just push that up a little bit. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take my clip and just clip this on to hold it in place so that it sticks, so it holds it while I'm gluing the other one. I'm just going to glue this aside. If you see that it needs that extra paper clip, you can absolutely add this. So we'll go back and just add some glue to this one. So you're basically gluing the 1/2 of, like, say, this hot air balloon to the half of another one. So once this is finished, we'll have 5 halves glued together. So you'll see this half glued in here, and then just bring this up so that that is even in here. Let me just pull that up a little bit more. There we go. So we'll lay this aside to dry, and once it's dry, you can stamp this image. I just stamped it in blue, and you can actually just glue that right on top. And I kind of popped mine up a little bit in the center. So you can see that a little bit better on this card. I actually trimmed the base of that hot air balloon and 3D'd that on the card. So this card base is out of the paper collection. I just 3D'd the oval by cutting it out with an oval nestability, added one of those circle epoxy sentiments on it, and then added some tags from the paper collection. So this made a very quick and easy card. So any circular shape that you have will work beautifully with this. And as you'll see, like this one is just the world map with that topper. We also have a watch in our Once Upon a Time collection that you'd be able to create a piece like that. So this is a very great altered art piece. Another thing that I like to use while we're on this stamp set, this one also has a bicycle image in it. When I looked at this, I'm like, those wheels have to spin, okay? So I had one of the design team members sent in this card, and I was like, you know, this might be the perfect card to just add a little bit more wheels to it. So you can see that those wheels will rotate. So for these, I stamped the wheels that are in the Celebrate the Journey sentiment set. So I stamped 2 of these and cut them out with a coordinating die. If you need to see how that works, you can watch the video called Once Upon a Time video, and that technique will be in there. So what we'll do is I'll have one wheel already colored and cut, but I'll bring in my sponge and just add a little bit of stamp paint to it. And I'll just go right around the edges of that wheel and just add a little bit of shimmer. I don't know if there's anything like a shimmery bicycle wheel, but hey, we'll make that fun for the art. So we'll just add some of that along the base of the wheel. You can put on as much or as little as you like. And for this other wheel, I added a little bit of crystal lacquer around the rim, which made it look kind of like a little rubbery ring around the tire, which kind of made it look very realistic. So you can quickly add that and then just add your crystal lacquer around the outer edge. Now for this one, I already put a hole in the center just with my paper piercer. And then if you have a brad, like I had a kind of a metallic screw brad that I just put right in the center, just pull that through. And then you can attach that to your card base. I made this one go all the way through. If you haven't glued this layer down yet, you could have it hiding behind that layer, but that will give you the option to make those wheels spin, which I thought would be a great interaction for a kid card or whatever you like. Another fun thing I wanted to point out is when I stamp a sentiment directly to my card base, sometimes I'm a little bit frustrated because I don't know where I want to stamp it, and I don't just want to stamp it directly to the card base. So I discovered if I stamp my image on a piece of vellum, and you can experiment with colors this way too, you can then place it. Do I want this sentiment here? Do I want it up here? Do I want it in here? And you have a better idea of where you're going to stamp it. This really gives you a lot more confidence on where you're going to stamp that image, and it has worked so many wonders for me. I absolutely love it. So you can try that. I think you'll like it too. To create these epoxy circles, you'll want in a melting pot some ultra thick embossing powder, or some people refer to it as Ute. But you can create many fabulous embellishments just with different color combinations. I'm using it with this stamp set. You'll see it's the Celebrate the Journey Sentiments. And I first of all stamped it with the blue ink, and then you cut it out with the coordinating die. If you haven't done this template to cut this out, what you'll do so you can go ahead and watch the video in my Once Upon a Time collection, and it will show you how I ran that through and lined everything up. So once you cut those out, you're going to bring in your circles. These are all cut out, and you can add color. You could also just stamp this on a colored paper if you liked, but I'm going to go ahead and add my lighter color first to all three of these, and I just kind of do that very randomly. And you can add a little bit more, like if you want brighter yellow in the center, you could do that. If I want to, this kind of reminds me of a sunshine on the edge there, so I'll add a little bit more color in there. And I'm going to accent with a little bit of olive green. So bear in mind you can use any color combination you like. I'm using the peanut brittle memento. Doesn't that sound delicious? And then we also have the olive color box green. So we'll just add a little bit of green. So this is just very random. On this one, I'll just add a little bit of green in the middle. If you want to add more of a defined outline, you can go back and just sponge right around those edges, if you like. And then your next step, what I'll do is this is ready for the melting pot. So I'll pull this in so you can see that pretty good. So what I'll do is different people do it different ways, but I discovered I like to see what it's doing. So what you'll do is you'll just put that into the melting pot and just sprinkle your ultra thick embossing powder over the top. And you can put a little bit in, and then you can always add more if you like. So you'll see that that is slowly starting to melt. You'll want to make sure that it's very hot when you're doing this. I'll usually have a tweezers so that I can kind of pick it up if I want. But this creates a clear acrylic coat over the top. If you want, you could also flip it on the back side and do a complete covering on the back as well. So you can really do this a lot of different ways. So once this is melted, I'll just grab that with my tweezers. Let's see, it's kind of crashing into those others. Maybe the tweezers isn't working as well today. It knows I'm... We'll chase it around the tray a couple times. So you'll see what kind of issues I sometimes experience. So what we'll do is we'll just pull this apart because it's still hot. We'll just dump a little bit more on the top there. Let's keep that in there. I'll just go ahead and dump a little bit more. If you have some of that
embossing powder on the side of the tray, you can actually, keeps melted, so you can actually continue using it. So this one is completely melted, so you can kind of see that glossiness on that. If you wanted to add another layer, you could. You'll see there's a little bit on the back, but once that cools down, that is very stiff. So I'll just get that off of it. This one is completely dry as well. Sometimes I'll add a little bit more, so that gives you a nice clear coating. So I absolutely love this technique. So if you don't have a melting pot yet, you can grab yours on the website. I also have the alternate. This is our troublemaker. It looks like it turned out pretty good. So if you have one sliding around, don't panic. It's okay. That does happen. And then you can just put this off to the side. So that's how you create some quick, ultra thick embossing epoxy circles. So they're a lot of fun. Use your creativity and your imagination on it. I think you'll have some exciting things that you'll be creating with it. Thank you so much for joining me. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to ensure that you will not miss those future videos. I love to hear from you, so leave a comment below. Let me know what you loved about the video, what techniques you'd like to see in future videos. You can also grab some more inspiration at our gallery by visiting heartfeltcreations.us. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time.